SiegeBreakers is one of the most innovative Warbonds that Helldivers 2 has ever made, containing 4 weapons, a gadget, and armor passive. I'll go over the perform for all factions, and rank them from best to worst overall. We'll begin with Breaching Hammer, a support weapon sledgehammer that you can hit enemies or the ground, and once doing so, it explodes. After that, simply reload it. You get 7 charges, and the damage output is freaking awesome. This thing, by the way, can turn even the most avid melee disenjoyer into an enthusiast. Any chaff unit you can reach with a hammer can get deleted instantly, and sometimes vaporized. You splooch them, as the devs call it, and it's just matter goes everywhere. That goes for bugs, usually. You one-shot chargers to the face. Base ones. Behemoth is just tanky enough so a single swing won't turn its lights out, but they get pretty dim, so all you need in addition to it is a Senator shot or an Eruptor. Any weapon that does heavy pen damage, it doesn't have to be very much. Just be sure everything lands on the Behemoth's face, otherwise you won't one-shot it. But in any case, if you hit a charger mid-gallop and you make contact with the explosive ammo, their charge does drastically reduce damage, and they go to a stop. And if you kill them mid-charge, they get sent flying sometimes, which is genuinely one of the funniest things you can experience in the game. It's Looney Tunes level of nonsense that I love. Impalers, hit them higher on the orange. Pretty much near the same spot you'd go for with the majority of other weapons. The smooth spot. Hulks, if you swing for the torso, it's usually a one-shot, although these big fellas can move in ways that most folks can't comprehend. They're flexible. If you're getting froggy in the front lines with a sledgehammer, put some respect on the Chainsaw Hulk's name. They will slap chop you out of existence in a moment's notice, swinging faster than you can even blink. So if you're getting close, make sure they already swung, or make peace with your god. War Striders, they're a bit beefier than usual, requiring 2 swings to either the same leg or the jondals. If you want to bring a Senator, it'd be 1 swing followed by 4 shots in somewhat close proximity, to save on your overall hammer ammunition. Meat Bob meets his maker in a single swing, and they should all be fearful of even the most average diver because the moment they're equipped with the hammer, they transcend into Midnight Meat Pounders. A title that is given to a bunch of freaks. Harvesters seem to be about 2 or 3 swings to the legs. If you aim for the feet, it might be more consistent. Factory Striders, they take 4 swings to any singular leg. Just pick one and hammer away. If they're in a convoy, they seem to only take 3 swings. Maybe it's after they walk some distance, they take damage somehow, some way, because in this game, they didn't shoot each other, and nothing shot them either. Me and my homie were just doing some weird stuff at the end of the map, chilling, and they pull up, and they're just brittle. Got brittle automaton bones. Tanks get turned to scrap metal by hitting the back and even the sides, which the side kill is a pretty impressive feat to accomplish in a singular swing. Bile Titans can be slain quickly if you take to the skies with a hover backpack while it's spewing, and you want to swing twice on the forehead. If they both land and they're both charged, it's gonna die. This is tough, but it can be done in 1 hover. If you want a less dented route, if you're not someone that sits there smoking crayons and you still eat them instead, go for the legs. This is a much safer tactic, but it does require a lot more swings. I'm legitimately around 8. You can weaken the leg with thermites, then it's roughly 3 swings, but the forehead play from the heavens is way cooler. 1 swing breaks fabricators, usually going for the side for a more consistent one tap. You take out dropships for Illuminate if you go towards the light. Just get kind of close in there, swing, even the shield's on, it'll get broken. And bug nests, the small ones, if you really want to close it, get in there, swing. For Bile Titan Nest, you can't close those. You don't have 40 Demo Force, which also means you can't break walls or breach walls on the Illuminate front. There's almost no universe in which that does not get improved to where it can breach walls, considering it's the Breaching Hammer. For the Spore Spewers and Shrakira Hotels, those take 2 swings, or it's 1 swing followed by whatever gun you got as your primary secondary. Breaching Hammer is a risk and reward weapon. The risk is getting close to enemies and having to be in melee range, which is dangerous. The reward is fun I can't even put into words. Where did he go, dude? It's genuinely a fantastic time. I recommend it highly. It is S tier for the creativity, the enjoyment it brings me and other players, and also being a pretty good weapon, all things considered. Trident, a shotgun shooting 6 beams at once that can have pretty insane spread, but it still does rather well against enemies at range given the infinite ammo you have when pacing your shots, because it's a heat-based weapon. It performs astoundingly against the bugs on Hunter Seeds mixed with Pouncers. In that environment, it turns into an aim trainer, and it is some of the most fun you can have if you enjoy just shooting weapons, honestly. Shriekers get shredded by the Trident because you're essentially skeet shooting using a shotgun with so many bullets getting dispensed that if you aim center mass, you will always get a kill on at least one of those flying buggers. On Stalkers, given the massive spread you have and how big they are in their close range, they just kind of fall over once you start shooting them. Commanders and even Alpha Commanders get deleted pretty quickly. Although I will say, once you start facing more enemies requiring you to hit more precise shots, you'll begin to recognize just how brutal the spread can be. That doesn't mean you can't kill things that do require precision. It's just more of a matter of how many shots do you want to sit there and take, and what's the RNG in hoping they don't kill you before you kill them. This is in reference to the automatons, where you can snipe their domes from distance, sometimes. Other times, not so much. For the squids, it is a beast on Voteless, handing out handicap parking placards at a pretty good rate. You just swipe their legs, and now they're crawlers. You can handle a meat bob lickety split if it's close enough. You're hitting 6 beams consistently, and if you pop enough heads, it just falls over. I don't know if they're piercing it, but in these clips, or this last kill, it died very fast. All things considered. Not too far away, this changes. Overseers can be kilt. Not denying that. But it's not particularly great on the flying overseers, more often than not. And the same also goes for even the overseers approaching you because of how their ablative armor works. Customization exists, or at least the illusion of it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There's not a whole lot you can change that would really impact the weapon all that much. I would go with iron sights once I can, since there's no point in having reticle on a shotgun to spread that we can see bottom right. And you can also see from shooting the gun itself. And for underbarrel, I'd do probably no underbarrel or angled grip. Trident is A tier, and I can't wait for a new beam laser marksman rifle or even assault rifle to hit the market and hopefully have medium pen, because that would just be chef's kiss. Pocket Bubble. Replace your grenades with tossable shield gen relays that are miniature that can mitigate some decent damage and prevent ragdolling. Teammates are doing any sort of objective that require them to sit there and lock in on a terminal, toss out the bubble. You're crouching trying to fight some automatons. Toss down the bubble. A tank tower spotted you, about to fire. You can't do anything to mitigate the shot. Toss on the bubble. It'll break it and ragdoll you, but you'll still survive otherwise. There's a hot single flame hulk in your area chasing you down, and all you have is ultimatum. Toss on the bubble and fire away. Bile titans are spewing. Bubble, and the spew seems to do either no damage or vastly reduced damage, and you have all the time in the world to sit there and kill it with whatever you may have. There are some things that do ragdoll through the bubble and even kill you, such as hell bombs that you're right next to. Maybe if you're laying down, it might work, but standing up, no dice. Same thing applies, I believe, to 500 kgs. Strafing runs on even the Illuminate Stingrays can be mitigated using the bubble. You can bubble and prevent all damage from a Spore Charger explosion, even at melee range, point blank. I think I got backstabbed by a Wilbur and a Warrior there. The bubble does not concern himself with Impaler Freaky Tentacle Fun Time. It mitigates all the tentacles from ragdolling you or even damaging you whatsoever, and it seems as though they're doing no damage to the bubble itself. The bubble blocks all flame damage from entering it, so if you're on the inside or the backside and things are attacking you from the front with flamethrowers, they won't damage you. So you can either stay in one place and fight them or run away, and that bubble acts as cover. There's one thing you can do that I'll tell you, but you can't show the devs. And if the devs see it, you have to revert the sway after sprinting for sidearms and whatnot, and let me reload while driving FRV. Anywho, you toss down the shield bubble as the charger's charging you, and it won't really damage you. If anything, it hits you for a very small amount. Instead, it'll nudge you out of the bubble, essentially taking you for a small taxi ride somewhere. Pocket Bubble is S tier. You saw the gameplay. You can use it for so many different things on different factions, and that is awesome. And there's also the team play element that does exist. It'll be kind of tough to make full use of it, but there's always the ability to try. And I love that. Leveler, short for leet and often referred to as meat. You call down a single-use, massive expendable anti-tank that shoots off essentially a stronger yet weaker 500 kg. Stronger in the sense it takes out Factor Striders multiple from direct hit and even the collateral explosion, killing anything else near it. That's crazy, and the 500 kilogram ain't doing it. But for Bile Titans, a body shot doesn't kill the main target, let alone anything near it. Any Bile Titan near it. 500 kg can do that, although it is a bit inconsistent. The explosion radius is pretty huge for the thing, and the ragdoll radius is even larger, so be very careful. Maybe toss on a pocket bubble if you need to. It is useful for horde clear technically, but given the around 1 minute 30 cooldown, I wouldn't say that's the main draw. Instead, it's going to be great for Factor Strider surges if we see those. Maybe taking off the armor for Hive Lords. You could also handle an entire Shakira hotel complex, 3 of those, if you angle it correctly from around 170 meters. Ping the distance. When it says 170, roughly, aim about 45 degrees up and fire. Or aim pretty high in the sky. It's easier to point out the objectives it can't destroy, such as your stratagem jammers and detector towers. But you also don't have a great time breaking bulk fabricators. They survive a single hit, at least in the areas I was shooting it. Everything else, for the most part, will get broken, and multiple things near the explosion will also get destroyed. This weapon may give divers to meat, just like Arby's, and now you can meet it, like Michael Jackson, to delete enemies. But I will say, in totality, it is C tier. Now, for my uses, it's A to S tier, because for bots, being able to take out Factory Striders so quickly and multiple at once is nuts. For the weapons that I use, I'm freaking in love with this right here. I can take it with Solo Silo in replacement of Solo Silo and have a blast. Which, by the way, it has a slower time to kill on certain things than Solo Silo. For reference, Leviathans. 2 leveler shots directly to the frontal area of the monster, it's still alive. Whereas for Solo Silo, you hit it anywhere and it dies. So there's some discrepancy there. I wouldn't say it's a Solo Silo equivalent, although it can do similar things. TD-220 Bastion. It isn't in the Warbond, but it did launch alongside it. Imagine taking an anti-tank emplacement and giving it 30 rounds that can fire 120mm barrage shells, alongside having an HMG emplacement with 2,000 rounds and making that whole thing mobile, but the gunner that shoots all these rounds only has access to the same pivot range of a grenade embattlement, except reduced by roughly 60%. You can't pivot all that much. And making it so the entire squadron can hop on in this thing that's essentially powered by the same motor used in a Rascal from Walmart. Those motorized shopping carts. From the moment you call it into battle, it turns into a monkey bomb, attracting every enemy's attention in a 100-meter radius. That includes when it's getting landed in the first place. And it takes time to drop off, so it might get sniped by a tank or tank turret. You gotta be very careful. Maybe find a mountain to deliver that package. You also have armor that is finely crafted out of the most durable of construction paper. Bullets will be shredding through the tank. Not as fast as a tank blast, but still pretty quick. Billy Bob's mother pulling out the Nerf gun. She's doing more just denting the whip. The tank's time to kill is lightning fast from the automaton's POV. For divers, it can kill a few enemies good too, though. Leviathans, for instance, take you 4 shots as opposed to the normal 6 from a close rifle. If you break a wing, you can then HMG it with the coaxial machine gun you have. That's pretty sick, and it feels very fun. On Factory Striders, those feel the same as your close rifle at the moment. Maybe, if your driver's cracked, they can pitch the tank downward and you can get a peek at them piglies and go for the feet on a Factory Strider, maybe one-shot it. Maybe, but otherwise, it has to be a well-placed shot on any indentation in a Factory Strider's face. For everything else, it feels the same. I don't believe you can hit a Battle Titan anywhere and kill it. Instead, you have to hit it in the face, in which case it will fold like a lawn chair. The Bastion comes equipped with one feature I think is amazing. That is replenishing ammunition by putting in any mission objective, which can get pretty sketchy considering it also consumes the main mission objectives, which fails the mission, but you can use spare sieve shells, for instance. Slot those in after you carry it towards the back of the tank, the gunner spot, and you essentially press the same button you enter the tank with, and that slots and refills all the ammo. So far, the most enjoyable experience I've had using Bastion is facing a Hive Lord. He can hit you with a slam and salmon, and you are fine. We're dead! We're alive! Unless you get launched in the air, and the vehicle or tank lands on its top. It flips you. Or you get sent so far you are in traitor territory. In which case, not ideal. But that doesn't happen too often. In fact, I think I got flipped maybe twice out of the 10 times I got launched. And if you could turn the tank in air while you're getting sent to Narnia and hit a FaZe Clan shot, that'd be sick. In fact, you'll see a clip eventually of someone dunking on a Dragon Roach or a Battle Titan in the air from a tank. It'll just happen naturally. It's going to be freaking awesome. But the cannon is going to be shredding the armor on the Hive Lord. All the while, it can't really kill you. All you have to do is worry about every other bug in the game, in which case you'll have 2 folks in the back if you're in a 4-man group. They can be rocking anything they want. If you're trying to kill Hive Lords quickly, once you break the armor, they should have miniguns most likely and just shred into the exposed flesh. When the armor's still there, they can be using a close rifle, C4, you name it. There's a lot of stuff you can do to make it really fun to hunt Hive Lords with the tank. I'm hoping they add Hive Lord hunting missions. You kill 3 of them in a single mission, and like that's the main focus. To give Bastion a rank, it is C if not D tier. The reason being, you require a driver, which isn't the most fun role for most people, and you're usually playing with random people. At least that's the majority of what folks experience. So to expect a person to be a driver and also be good at it is a tough ask, and the driver determines how much usefulness you get from the tank. The gunner just pulls the trigger, the driver is genuinely aiming it the entire time. That's the experience. Just imagine when you're playing a game and you have a person that uses the mouse and a different person using the keyboard, or a controller, and there's two different hands controlling each side. That's the tank, except you're even more limited than that based on the lack of ability to maneuver as the gunner. You get like what, 60 degrees, 45 degrees of movement, left to right. That's going to be harsh. And then you also factor in how the armor is made out of paper mache. Construction paper, stronger than the basic stuff, but still not particularly ideal. Fun thing though. Don't get it twisted, it's a fun stratagem. Belt-fed grenade launcher can fire 100 grenades continuously at a maximum of 320 RPM, which you can also lower, and I love that. It has heavy armor penetration for every shell you shoot, and these are explosive because it's a grenade launcher. You can get ammo back instantly from a resupply drop, and also for the supplies you get in the world, little ammo boxes, those give you roughly 1/5 your ammo, so 20 shells. It's fun to shoot. That's essentially where all the praise ends, because the damage, whack. Explosion radius, no good neither. If you compare it to the grenade launcher and grenade launcher embattlement, this does not hold the candle in the slightest. Those two weapons I just listed will kill things essentially 2.5 times faster. Devastators, it takes 2 shots from grenade launcher, 5 shots, 5 rounds from the BFGL. And the explosion radius is worse. So you have less direct damage and less explosion radius, and there's no other redeeming qualities. Apparently it's supposed to have shrapnel. That's what players are speculating. I don't believe the devs have confirmed nor denied. Welp, there goes that theory. If you look at that comparison, you then begin to realize the BFGL is the bad freaking grenade launcher. And some folks may be punching the wall right now. You can't say that! I love the gun! You can like it. Go crazy. But even the devs are showing you to your face it's not good. In the preview clip of the weapon itself in your own Super Destroyer, they shoot all those bugs. Nothing dies. So all you'll be doing when using the weapon is turning yourself into a supply vampire, sucking up all the ammo and nutrients from the earth and your teammates' resources for what? Your body's a machine that turns 100 grenades into 20 kills. I don't want to see my fellow divers on the streets how to do some freaky stuff for $5 to get some ammunition for their grenade launcher. The belt-fed grenade launcher is F tier. Visual blur, extra bullet drop on your shots, lack of ammunition, which is a massive factor, low damage, and low explosive area of effect. These do not lead to a very enjoyable weapon to use. And I do believe it'll just be another example of a minigun, except in this case it's worse. I would rather take minigun for pretty much the majority of situations in which you could actually use it. Armor passive, supplemental adrenaline. Got that right here. It's called Colombian creatine, crafted up in Schedule 1, was selling on the streets to make a quick buck. When the wearer takes damage, when you receive any damage whatsoever, you get back stamina based on how much damage you took. If it's a small hit, not so much stamina. If it's a big hit, a lot, in relation to how much it was. And you also get 25 extra armor rating. Now, some folks will say the armor could be awesome with dead sprint. I tested it with me and my homie here, Dozer, and I had the armor on, and we both ran across the map, and he had the same armor rating. He was using Epaulettes or something that gives 125 armor rating like what I had. The difference was not very noticeable. Like, sure, he took more damage than me, but we still made it across the map. And if we're both super low HP, you're going to have to stim. There's no major reason to use the armor, because if you do take big damage from an enemy, you're going to want to stim. You get two-shot by so many things in this game. Getting back stamina is essentially useless. Whoa, I have stamina. I can be sprinting in the pearly gates of heaven as I'm getting revived because I died. Supplemental adrenaline is F tier. If you enjoy the way it looks, that's a whole different story. And in fact, go in the Discord feedback forums when they have them and ask the devs for transmog. I want my armor to look good, but also be equipped with passives that mean something and are worth having. And the easiest way to accomplish that is you selecting the passives that you want for the armor itself. Anywho, that is the Warbond, and in conclusion, it's a freaking fun one. SiegeBreakers captures the very essence of what makes Helldivers 2 so much fun to play. different but enjoyable ways to kill the same enemies, and that's all I'm looking for. You don't have to release stuff that's always one-upping what we have previously in terms of, let's say, a recoilless rifle adjacent weapon. It just has to be fun enough, and the hammer does that perfectly. The Trident, I believe, does that very well, and the bubble shield doesn't kill things, but it provides a pretty fun experience. That being said, we could probably use some buffs on a couple things. Hammer needs more ammunition. Treat it more like a railgun. Give it 20 rounds, 21 rounds, versus viewing it like a recoilless rifle or C4 backpack. Bubble shield should last twice as long. It already breaks pretty quick. When you have multiple things shooting at it, that's not a huge deal per chance, but the duration should be longer so you get more value on placing it on your turrets or even teammates. And I believe the leveler should have a reduced cooldown. 20 seconds, nothing insane. But by golly, this is a great Warbond. Probably one of my favorite ones in the game so far. And I'm waiting for the day we get a grappling hook so I can just sit there zip lining on a building and then zip line on top of a Leviathan and just smash its tail until it gets taken out from the sky. But even as is, I'm having a blast. Recommend it highly. One of my favorite Warbonds to date. The devs cooked. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. I appreciate your time. If you need a stainless steel pan, get one in the link down below from Heritage Steel. What else do I have to offer for affiliate links? That's the main thing. I like the pans. Anywho, thank you for watching. Have a good day.